Take a deep breath, and imagine the ancient world as it once was. A world without airplanes, without instant communication, without maps that showed the edges of the earth. Empires rose slowly, wars lasted generations, borders rarely change. Most people believed the world was simply too vast, too powerful, to ever be conquered by one man. And then came Alexander, a young king from a small kingdom called Macedonia. In just 11 years, he would defeat the greatest empire on earth, march his army across 3 continents, and reshape history so deeply that the world would never be the same again. This is the story of Alexander the Great. Alexander was born in 356 BCE. His father was King Philip II of Macedon, a brilliant military reformer. His mother was Olympias, a woman of intense ambition who believed her son was destined for greatness. From the beginning, Alexander was told he was not ordinary. Olympias whispered that he was descended from gods, that his destiny was written in the stars. And Alexander believed her. As a child, Alexander showed intelligence, courage, and an uncontrollable hunger for glory. When a wild horse named Bucephalus terrified grown men, Alexander noticed something others had missed. The horse was afraid of its own shadow. Alexander turned the horse toward the sun, calmed it, and rode it. That horse would carry him into history. Alexander's education was entrusted to Aristotle, one of the greatest thinkers who ever lived. Aristotle taught him philosophy, science, medicine, literature, and logic. But Alexander did not study to become a scholar. He studied to become immortal. He carried a copy of Homer's Iliad everywhere he went and slept with it under his pillow. He dreamed of becoming greater than Achilles. When Alexander was 20 years old, his father was assassinated. Suddenly, the throne of Macedon belonged to a young man surrounded by enemies. Greek city-states rebelled. Rivals questioned his right to rule. Kings waited for him to fail. Alexander responded with speed and brutality. He crushed the rebellions and marched south. The city of Thebes resisted him. Alexander destroyed it completely. Men were killed, women and children enslaved. The city burned. The message was unmistakable. Resistance meant annihilation. Greece submitted. Alexander now turned east. Beyond Greece lay the Persian Empire, the largest, richest, most powerful empire the world had ever seen. It stretched from Egypt to India. It commanded vast armies. It had defeated countless enemies. No Greek had ever conquered Persia. But Alexander did not see impossibility. He saw destiny. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed the Hellespont into Asia with around 40,000 soldiers. Compared to Persia's resources, his army was small, but it was disciplined, experienced, and loyal. And Alexander led from the front. At the Battle of the Granicus River, he charged directly at Persian forces, nearly losing his life. But he won. It was the first crack in the Persian armor. Word spread quickly. Cities began to fall. Alexander moved fast, faster than anyone expected. He understood something revolutionary. Speed was power. Before Persia could fully respond, Alexander struck again. At the Battle of Issus, Alexander faced King Darius III himself. Darius commanded a massive army. Alexander attacked the center. Chaos erupted. Darius panicked and fled. The Persian king abandoned his own family on the battlefield. The psychological impact was devastating. The King of Kings had run. Alexander had proven that Persia could bleed. Alexander now marched south along the Mediterranean coast. City after city surrendered, but one city resisted: Tyre. Tyre was an island fortress, heavily defended and confident. Alexander did not retreat. He built a massive causeway across the sea. For 7 months, his army labored under enemy fire. When the city finally fell, Alexander showed no mercy. Tyre was destroyed. Once again, the message was clear: no obstacle was too great.